Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 24. We are on race 4, and we are halfway through the season, this mini-season, and we find ourselves here at the Shanghai International Circuit in China. Now, I've been quizzed and prayed for no rain. It's looking a bit dark and gloomy outside. Will any rain come during quali or the race? If anyone's watching in the chat, let me know. It's a bit of a questionable one, China. For me, I personally enjoy it, but there's a lot of drivers that don't really like racing at this track for some reason. It's got a nice combination of those slow, dry quality and race. So lovely, thanks, Noodle. So we should see some proper setups happening and none of the carnage that we've had for the last couple of races where they have both been wet. Of course, in the last race, it was won by Adam in Miami, his first win of the season, and trying to chase down Amadee, who's quite a bit ahead at the moment in the standings, 31 points ahead, and he's shown his dominance in the season. But Adam put a dent in that, I said last week. So who will come a cropper this week, we shall see. Who's coming out first out that we're going to see is an Aston, and it will be Portuguese, I think. No, my eyes deceive me. It's an AlphaTauri, so we'll keep an eye on them. So China, 5.4 kilometers, a clockwise circuit, 16 corners, 9 to the right and 7 to the left, 2 DRS zones, one down the one of the biggest straights on the calendar, 1.2 kilometers, and then the other DRS on the start-finish straight. So we shall see some overtaking opportunities. I love this. I always find I do really, really well on this, and I have information that we are expecting rain in about 10 minutes, so I think everyone's going to want to get out and do some laps quick off now. There's still 1 or 2 in the pits, so probably trying to give themselves a little bit of space. Now let's hope that people stay out of people's hot laps this week. We've had 1 or 2 issues with impeding over the last couple of weeks, and what we'll do is we're with Devils in the AlphaTauri, and we'll jump on for a nice little hot lap. So nice full out, going around that last corner to open up the lap DRS. As we head down towards turn 1, you want to see what wide on there, a wide line on the left hand side, lift off the throttle, feather the throttle and the brake as you go round. You want to go wide and into the apex as you hit turn 2, nice and tight, and then you want to gently touch off the brake and then open up the corner on turn 4 on the wide, throttle down, touch the apex on this small corner on turn 5, and then left side of the track for turn 6, trail brake onto the apex of and run wide to open up that corner, and then turn several, go far wide, and then you want to follow the corner around flat out, just avoid that inside curb. The turn 8, modulate on the throttle, again stay off the curb, otherwise you will be spinning. Now turns 9 and 10, you want to go wide and entry on both corners, and touch the curb as you go. Done well there by Devils. Open up the throttle here as you're coming down to turn 11. Hit that apex, and then 12 and 13 stay off those curbs. Turn 13 is a bank corner, so you want to just feather that throttle until you feel comfortable to go full down, full leather, and this is where we're going to see some overtaking. 1.2 kilometers DRS is open, and we're going to be setting speeds of about 205 miles an hour. Turn 14, turning late to prioritise the exit. There's going to be some late braking, and then turn 16, go far wide as fast as you can, nearly spinning off the corner there. You want to avoid the track limits on the exit and cross the line on 1:33.4. So a great first lap there from Devils Academy. Jumps in provisional pole of 31.1 with his teammate Adam Mako just following behind, and comes with a 31.2, so not far ahead of his teammate actually. Adam is one to watch this week as Zach No, I'm getting my blues and greens. I need glasses. I'm getting the blues and greens mixed up. As Noodles in the house comes provisional P3 with a 32.4. Jack's coming in with a 31.8. We've got Ferrari next over the line. And it's not Danny Dine, it was Ahmed D with a 31.3. So we can see the kind of times that are being set as AJ, provisional pole with a 31.0. Maximising on his good performance last week, as getting his P3 podium in Miami. Big Raki with a 32.2, Sidegate on a 32.6. Slotting in with the times. We've got another AlphaTauri of J2 Frosty. No, it's somebody coming in on his lap, so I don't know if anyone is actually coming around. What is that parked car of Zach doing? What's he trying to do? Give himself a bit of a tow down the start-finish straight, is he? Waiting for these class cars, or is he waiting for his teammate? Giving his teammate a bit of a tow. A little bit of teamwork going on here. You like to see it. And the Mercedes have been doing that for the last few races. Mainly Katami's helping Adamaco. Zach and Portuguese doesn't need the support, but he's getting it anyway. Getting a tow from his teammates and goes up to P2 with a 31.2. He's going to love having Zach as a teammate. So AJ setting the pace so far. Got Noodles on a lap. And Barcelona. So Noodles is first, we'll follow him round. So got quite one or two new drivers with us this week. One or two capitalising on people who are watching the Champions League or have given up the ghost now on this game. And unfortunately, it's what happens at this time of year. It's a new game launch in just a few weeks. As Noodles coming round turn 14, 15. 15 isn't really even a corner. It's the exit of turn 14. Flat out, loses back end a little bit, crosses the line and goes up to 32.5, currently P9. And we'll jump on with Barca, who's coming around the final corner now. Nice to see him with us again. All four wheels on the track. Crossing the line goes P6, just 3 places ahead of his teammates. And then I think next one crossing the line will be Zach. Let's see what pace he's got now. He has been, I understand, racing with 1 or 2 esports drivers. So we'll see what pace that he's setting. A little bit of a wobble. I think he's on a wheel, which he's not normally used to. And hasn't set a time because he invalidated on the final corner, I think. So has he got enough in his tank to set another time? We shall see. Now potentially he's going in for a tyre change. So AJ setting the pace. We'll just stay on with IMD, see if he's going to improve on his current time. He looks like he's on another hot lap. Oh, locks up a bit there. That won't be good on his tyres. Coming around the final corner. He's currently on P5. Does he improve? And he does go provisional power at 30.9. So he went first into the 130s. Now, I reckon, as we'll jump on with Dan, setting his first lap time of the quali period. I reckon that mid 130s was my time, but I reckon maybe a 30.7 maybe. As Dan jumps up to a respectable P8. And jump on with Linda Zukin, who's gone straight in the pits, who's invalidated. So I think that's everybody has set a lap so far. We've got Keys Geezer and Josh out on a lap, so we'll jump on with Josh, who will be on next flying lap. So Ahmadi just sneaking ahead by 6 hundredths ahead of AJ, so it's nice and tight at the top. 5/10 separating the top 6. So yeah, we've got 1 or 2 new guys with us, and so we've got Noodles, who I've driven with in a couple of different leagues, currently in P11, who's taken up the AlphaTauri seat, the cursed AlphaTauri seat. I think Devil rejected. We'll love just to have a constant teammate for at least one or a couple of consecutive races. We've got Josh, who we're on now, who's joined with us today. Hopefully have a permanent seat in the Alpine for the rest of the season, but we'll see how he gets on today. We've got Zach, who we saw, who set that invalidated lap, who he's coming at us with a bit of a quick pace. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with us today. Showing some great teamwork with Portuguese. Like I said, he doesn't need any support himself, but will gladly accept it. There's a little bit of a wiggle there from Frosty. Did he get a bit of wiggle on the throttle there? A bit, or was he impeded? We'll have to see later on. We've of course got Jax, who's filling in as a reserve today. We've got Linzukin, who's filling in for Thelemy in the Red Bull as well. It's nice to see the 19 drivers on the grid. Like I say, you don't really get to see this many drivers. I think was it Adamako jumped up to Katani, up to P3. Great lap from the Mercedes lad. Normally is taking one for the team for Adamako and is putting in some great pace. Currently showing with 7 minutes left to go as Frosty comes round turn 14 now. We'll see what his pace lies at as he's coming around the final corner. Don't invalidate in the final corner as AJ jumps on provisional pole again with a 30.9, and we'll see where Josh comes in. He's coming in at a provisional P13, so it's a solid first lap as Giza jumps right behind him on a 32.2. And I didn't see who jumped in there above. Oh, it was Adamako jumped up to P3 just above his teammate. So I think get some great pace shown by the Mercedes lads. They've been consistent all season, and it'll be good to see how they finish. Adamako had a DNF a couple of races ago, which has dented their title charge, but they are not too far behind at all. The Ferrari lads are ahead, but only by 22 points, so ahead of the Mercedes. So there is a battle ahead, but it's not over at all by anywhere. Like I say, we're only halfway through the season. As AJ, yes, currently on provisional pole with a 30.9, and just that no, not even 2 hundredths ahead of Amadis. Tight at the top, I'm telling you. Tight at the top, I'm telling you. Now, is the rain coming? Is everyone getting these laps in? There's Big Rocky in. I think AJ's jumping in. Do you have anyone on a hot lap now? Linazukan. Just coming to the end of sector 2, looking to set his first time. We'll see what he can do for us. So yes, of course, in China, we've got a massive billionaire sponsor named Cha-Ching. It's funny. Everyone laugh, please. Says Portuguese jumps on provisional pole with a 30.7, so a good 2 tenths ahead, and as a marker to set for others. As Linzukan's just coming around the final corner now to set his first time. Where will he come through? And jumps up to P16 with a 32.9. So still got plenty of time to find as everyone is jumping out on a lap now. We'll jump on with Bars, who's currently in P4, which I think he's just set a lap. So it's a great lap from him up to P4. Teammate Noodles currently in the pit. I've got Devil rejected. I wonder if he's coming in the pits. He's already done 2 laps. We'll have a look on his end of sector 2 time. Which he isn't actually on a lap, I don't think. Yes, he is. He is on a lap. Tell a lie. I'm lying again. Why are you lying for? He's just coming now, and he's gone wide. Is he invalidated? No, the game's let him off, but I don't think that would have helped. And he is 8 tenths down, so he's moved out of the way. So it's great sportsmanship by him. As jump on Jax, who's on a good, respectable P7, is Amadi. The the championship leader goes up to 30.5. So this was the time I was expecting people to get, and we've reached it. Now the track's warmed up a bit. Now the rubber's worn in. Jackson started his final sector. We'll see if he can improve. He needs another couple. Well, he needs 8. He needs 8 tenths to jump up a position. There is a big gap between the top 6 ahead of him, so he could be potentially best of the rest. But a marker down from Amadi. He's coming round. Has he invalidated? I think he slowed down to try and stay in. Lost his back end a little bit, so I don't think that would have helped. He's jumping straight in the pit, so don't waste any time. Got Noodles coming around the final corner. He's 3 tenths down and ends up finishing 9 tenths down in his time. So hasn't improved. So we'll go on with a big jump. Who's ahead? Dan? No, Big Racky is just ahead of Dan. So this is potentially the last laps. I can't see any rain yet, so we might just be, as he's a 10th and a half up on his time, which is good enough to get him up a place to P9. China, let's do a fact while we're just waiting for him to go round, shall we? So, if you have a bird's eye view from this track, looking from the air, it's the track is actually laid out for the Chinese symbol of Shang, which means upwards or above. So, yeah, you'll look reading above from above. But it's also the start of Shanghai, which is where it's based. Yeah, interesting. You learn something every day. Every day's a school day, except when it's not. He's just coming down the big long straight, which I think's the length's been surpassed now by Vegas. Locks up there, or it might just be the game effects. Nice, has a good exit. Here's a couple of tenths up, so he's looking to improve. Can he jump up and get ahead of Dan Morris? Crosses the line and goes up to ahead of Jack Daniels to P7. Great lap from as Dan's just behind. He jumps in the pit. I think he's had a bit of an issue there. But a great lap from Big Racky, and his teammate AJ is coming round now on his last final hot lap. Can he improve? He needs to improve by 4 tenths to take back that pole position. Looks like he's setting a decent time here. Flying around the last corner, just don't invalidate. Can he improve? It's going to be tight. And I don't think he has. He hasn't, because he's setting a hot lap now. I thought he was in a hot lap. Silly me. As Adamako jumps up to P3. It's the best he's going to get so far now. As we're getting a Haas come over now, it's going to be Noodles. Noodles jumps up to P10. Portuguese, or is it Zach? He's going to cross the line. No, Zach's setting a lap now, I think. They're all flying over. I can't keep up with them. It's not Frosty. Is it Jax? Jax crosses the line. We're still not over, so it's not a final lap. I think everyone's just maybe burning off some fuel. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now all quali's over. So Katamise has finished. Heisy's going to get his P6. There's a Red Bull crosses. That's Sygate coming home with P10. That's a great lap from him. Noodles has retired and Heis with P13. That's Racky coming round. So we've got a Tauri. Where's that a Tauri? Is it a Frosty? It's not Frosty. It's not Frosty. His teammates, that's Noodles. Noodles the car going in the pit. So we must have somebody on a hot lap. Come on, we've got an exciting finish here. Now is it AJ? Is he setting a lap? Let's see. No, he's going across the grass. He's playing Lawnmower Simulator. It's Zach now then. Coming around the final corner. He's 17 seconds up on his time. I can't use my maths at this time of night. Where's he going to finish? Coming around the final corner. And he goes up to P8. As the Haas boys look like they were working together to get Barcelona. He's on P5. It's a great teamwork for the Haas boys. We do have J2 Frosty crossing the line any second now. Jack's crossing the line, doesn't improve on his P9. But where will J2 Frosty go? Straight in the pits? I think he's had a bit of a wobble again. And there was a Romeo followed in behind, which I think was Geezer. So that is your grid, and Amadi takes pole with a great lap that no one can get near. I think there was one or two people trying to push the limits, and just push too hard. As we didn't get a lap time from Danny Dine, and of course Andy, unfortunately, has a quali ban this week from impeding last week. So Danny Dine just, what's he doing? Maybe saving his tyres? I don't know. Don't really know. But that's it. We have a quali. And this is your lineup for the race at Shanghai. We have Amadi on pole with a 30.5. Great lap, and joining him on the front row, the Portuguese Beast is just over a 10th behind. Adamaco P3 with AJ on P4. Barca P5 and Katamis P6. Big Raki, great lap from him on P7. Great showing for the McLaren lads. Zach on his first outing gets up to actually P8. Jack's P9, and round off the top 10 is Dan Morris. We've got Cygate and Noodles on the 6th row. Geezer and Noodles on 7th row. Josh on P15. Devil Jack to P16. Linda Zukin 17. And then we've got Andy and Danny Dine, who didn't set any times for numerous reasons. So, who do you reckon, whoever's watching, stick in the chat who you reckon is going to be winning today? I'm going to... Races are different, aren't they? Races are different, and we do have a dry race. I'm going to go for Portuguese. Going to throw his hat in the ring and get the win today. I'm going to see Adamaco on I'll get Adamaco P2, and then we'll get Amadi P3. We do have two Noodles, yeah. I'll call you Martin then. I'll call you Martin. Avoid the confusion. We got Nuddles and Noodles. I'll call you Nuddles and Noodles. So, strategy for today. If it was me, I'd probably go hards to mediums. Just stretch out that first stint. Pit around lap 15. Pit stop is only about 17 seconds. I'm sure we'll see a few different strategies. Let's have a look where people are going to go. The lights are out, and they get a good launch off the line. Are we going to see? It's going to be a tight first corner. It snails round. Let's hope people don't go diving in too hard on the first corner. No one seems to have a drastic change. Bars has dropped a couple of places. I think that's just taken the wrong line. Jax has dropped a couple of places too. Cygate and Noodles has climbed, and Noodles. Noodles and Noodles have climbed. But Amadi has got away nicely with Portuguese in P2. Adamaco, the first three are staying, but Katamis has jumped up a couple of places. The McLaren boys have dropped and now in situ. So biggest losers seem to be Jax Daniels, Barca and Geezer. But thankfully everybody's still going. So it's great racing by everybody. As we make our way around the first lap. Let's try a strategy. So we've only got 3 drivers on mediums. Katamis, Cygate and Andy. Andy, of course, is going to be doing the last to first challenge. Quite a bit away behind. Did he start in the grid? Has he lost a wing? I've missed have had a bit of a spin. But he can just put his foot down, work his way through. Now DRS, of course, as Red Bull's looking to do the overtake on the McLaren. And that's Cygate up to P6 with a great overtake on turn 14 on Big Raki. As Jax does the same on Devil Rejected. Nice clean overtaking on that final corner, and that's where we'll see a lot of action. That's where the best seats are. And Jack's making moves up to P13. But great positions there from Cygate. Getting himself up several positions on the first couple of laps. as we look as Noodles trying to overtake Big Racky on the outside of turn 3 and 4. Big Racky has a little bit of a wobble, which gives Noodles the opportunity to overtake and does jump up to P7, as we have had a bit of contact or a spin, and that's Devil Rejected, who's down to P18. He will just get his foot down. There's plenty of the race to go, still 27 laps to go, as Bars is now following his teammate through and makes the move on Big Racky, who had a good first lap, who's just dropped a couple of positions and a couple of corners. If you do get put off the line, it does set you back and makes you lose your rhythm. As who's that's gone off? That was Noodles. We saw him go flying. He's Noodles straight into that bowl and straight into that border, and he's had to drop out. His car went flat fast. It nearly flew off. It's not a Red Bull. You don't have wings. It's a Haas, and we're ha-ha-hassing like you for doing that. It was funny to watch, but it's a shame to lose you. But please join us in the stream. We have a virtual safety car, which I don't think anyone's going to potentially jump in the pit. It'll be a silly move to make. It's still early on, but it will mean that people have got less fuel in, a bit of fuel saving there, and it can eke out these medium tyres as well. As Adamako drive through penalty for speed under the safety car, under the virtual safety car, and he'll be fuming, but he's going to get an Italian hand gesture. The Delta's an absolute twat, but he's an experienced driver, and he's just had an absolute mare. So as Jax has jumped into the pit, has he had a incident? Is he switching a wing, or is he just jumping off the hard tyres? Interesting call. No, he's must have a drive-through penalty. When did Jax just get a drive-through penalty? I didn't see that either. But Adam will have to jump in the pits as well, so that's a great opportunity for the cars behind. His teammate Casimir to get some points, and Adam will be hoping for a safety car again later on. So unfortunately we've lost Noodles, which will make the Noodles-Nuddles debate a little easier. But after we're on lap 3, and Amadi is currently in P1. He's got that second gap on Portuguese. He's got that almost 2 second gaps ahead of Adamako now, who wants to be helping his teammate to pull up ahead. Casimir has got that ERS. I don't think DRS is active. Oh, DRS is active now. So he's giving his teammate a little bit of extra oomph, as Adam will jump in and take a bit of sting out of the yeah, so it's going to be 17 seconds, but it's going to be 7 seconds of pain that he just might as well get out of the way, as AJ jumping up to P4. Sygate now up to P5. Great showing from him. He's had a bit of poor fortune, as we've got Barcelona just stalking him right up on his gearbox, looking to potentially sniff an overtake. In the Haas, we've got Zach, who's now up to P7, who's a second behind Barca in the Aston. He's the first race with us. It'll be interesting to see what his pace is. I think he said he's normally a controller, so on the pad, so he's starting out on a wheel, so it'll be interesting to see what his pace will be. But be looking to get some good points for the Aston Martin team. He's just good second behind Barca. You've got Big Racky, who is sticking with Zach and want to get pulled along. Again, great start from Big Racky. We've got Dan Morris, who's Mr. Ever-Present in the top 10, as Adamako makes that overtake on Andy after coming out the pit. So he's going to be looking to work his way up the grid. As Zach, what's happened to Zach? Has he lost a couple of places? Was there any contact, or did he have a bit of loss of traction in the corner? But he has lost a couple of places as Barca makes the overtake down into turn 14 on Sygate, which is a great overtake from him. As Frosty's going to want to look to take those places back. As Portuguese Beast, what's happened to him? Has he span on the final corner? I think he's lost traction on the final corner, and he's dropped down to P5. Now he's one of the he was my favourite to go to the win, and he's now down to P6. It doesn't look like he's got damage, but he's got his tyres must be overheated, and that's got Katamis now up to P2. Great showing from Katamis, but capitalising on the mistakes of others. As Andy's looking on the inside, a little bit of a drift there from Devil Rejected, who's going to want to look at overtaking. A bit of a four-car train behind Adamako. Adamako is now up to P14 and will be hunting down the cars in front as Big Raki now overtakes Portuguese. Does Portuguese have damage? Dan Morris overtakes him as well. He's got to have damage. Was there any contact with the driver? He goes wide as well. He's dropping down. He's dropping down like some whore's knickers. We're gonna have to see it. He's gonna be jumping the pits, and oh my God, this is an absolute mare for the Portuguese. He's gonna give his teammate a bit of slipstream down the straight to get him caught back up to the cars in front. But what a turnout for the Bucks! And Amadi's going to be been rubbing his hands even at this stage of the race, as no one's quite making the overtake yet. Is anyone close enough? Maybe further down. Can Andy make the overtake on Danny Dine? He goes on the inside of turn 14, leaving plenty of room, very respectful, and Portuguese does jump in the pits. Great overtake from Danny Dine, from Andy and Danny Dine as he jumps in the pits now. How's he got damage? What happened to Portuguese? And it'll be interesting to hear as he does. He's having a wing change and jumps onto those mediums, so he's going to be hoping for a safety car as well to get him back in the game. As Jax makes the overtake now. No, Jax says he absolutely hates his track and just probably struggled to find his rhythm and setup that he needs coming down Pier 17, but he will keep going. Knows it is our league's rule that everyone that finishes will get points, so stick with it. So we're on lap 6 now, and it's already been an eventful race for an eventful track. And where we lost now? We've lost Andy. He's lost it. Coming out, is that turn 7? Has he hit the curb? We've lost Andy. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's hit the curb. He's touched the curb and gone flying. And has that brought a safety car out? I can't see one. Is it a VSC? I can see it's just yellow flags. I don't think so because there's no cars around. It might just be some yellows. I think it's just some yellows. It's not a full track one. So the guys at the back will be slamming the desk with their fists, hoping to try and get back. But unfortunately, we've lost Andy as well. Lost it on turn 7 on the curb. As Zach, what's happened to Zach? He's lost it on the final corner. Lost his traction and lucky to not get a penalty for driving backwards, but dropped it straight in the pits. And get an Italian hand gesture for Zach for speeding in the pit lane, and he's retired. He's retired. He's called it a day. Hopefully he'll join us again. You need to stick with it, Zach. Come on, man. You're an experienced driver. There's no point in giving up after lap 7. As we see an overtake in front. I think was Sygate is right up behind Dan Morris, looking to get that fight for that P6. Unfortunately, we lost you, Zach, but if you're in the stream, come join us. Come join us in the chat. It'll be interesting to have a talk with somebody. I always feel like I'm on my own sometimes. Be nice to hear a friendly voice. As we're coming down the slip now, 4.6 seconds ahead of Katami, so Amadi's no chance for an overtake. There's now out DRS, AJ in P3. Is he going to get back-to-back podiums? Barca currently in P4, which would be a good showing for him, and he'll be sniffing that podium as well. Same Big Raki up to P5. Locking up in the corner as Josh overtaking Sygate up to P7. And Kiza and Noodles battling. Kiza ahead as Noodles looking to overtake on the outside. Slots in behind, knowing there's a DRS section. Can he make the overtake going down to turn 1? And Sygate jumps up ahead of Josh as Noodles just jump up to P9 with a great overtake. Great racing from those pair. And we've lost Josh on Is that going round? Has he gone on too far on the inside? What happened there? He's cutting the grass. I'll give you a couple of quid. You can cut mine as well. Down to P10 now. Did he go too far inside on that turn 1? Or was he pushed off? You never know when we're not watching. Big Brother wasn't watching then. Adamako out to P12. Just getting his head down. Trying to maximise the points. Right up the back behind of Linazukan, looking to make an overtake. Can he do an overtake down this mini straight here? Around turn 10, he's just following round and knows that he'll have that DRS, so he's not going to try and force it. Can Kizagiza make the overtake? He's used all his ERS by the looks of it, as Adamaka makes the overtake before the straight. I don't think Linazukan was going to fight it too much, as Kizagiza is just not close enough to catch up with Nuddles. Nuddles probably using some of his ERS, and he is. He's run out of his ERS. It's flashing. He's flashing like as Linazukan makes the overtake again on Adamako with a DRS. They're fighting going down to the final corner, but Linazukan slots behind Adamako. It's not a place to overtake on turn 16. Looks like he ran a little bit wide there, so he will hopefully not get a warning. Has that DRS down to turn 1. He's going on the outside. Can he make it stick? As that's a crap angle. He's looking now on the inside of turn 2, but it's get shot down by Adamako, and they will follow each other through round 3 and 4. So great racing from the 2 drivers there. As Amadi now 5.5 seconds ahead. Just flying. Oh, a little bit of a wobble. I think that's the only thing that's going to hamper him, or a penalty. Woo! That would have been fit for what's been going on so far. We've had a mistake by Adamako, mistake by Portuguese. We've had a mistake by Zach. And give the opportunity to some other drivers to get closer near the front. But Katami is the other Mercedes MP2, who's AJ, who has caught up now. Does he have that DRS? Give us a wing. I want to see a wing. I love my chicken wings, and I want to see a wing. He must have it open to catch up that quick. And he's now only 6/10 behind. He will definitely have DRS down the start-finish straight. And potentially we'll look at doing an overtake down to turn 1. As Kizagiza jumps ahead of Nuddles and Adamako ahead of Josh. And it's all changed, and I just don't think he's close enough there, but we'll follow him around the lap now. Great racing from those 2 drivers. As Hoofy lost in the final corner now. Who's gone round? Please not Cygate. Please not Cygate. Oh, Cygate, what's happened to you? I think he's lost it on the final corner. He's running so well for the Red Bull team. And just lost at the final corner. We got a VSC. Now, how long will this be out for? How long will this? I don't think anyone's going to be close. And there is an Alpine jumping in the pits. And it is Jax who's capitalising to jump on some fresher tyres while the VSC is out. And that will help him later on. I don't think anyone's going to be close enough to the pits to jump in. So Jax will jump onto some more mediums. And he's going to be loving that. Now, please, no one get a VSC penalty. Please do not. I know this game is an absolute mare for doing it, but please, please, please do not. Please do not. Ah, Cygate. Linazuka, no! I literally just said, and who's that other one? Was that Barca? Did you get one as well? I think Barca got one as well. The pair of them. The pair of them. The pair of them. Italian hand gesture. You absolute idiot. Oh my god. Be prepared. We'll see if Arthur jumps in a second. We'll see if he jumps in a second. But if he's got a drive through, you're getting a double slap, a left slap and a right slap. As he's gone round, so it might be through track limit. So we'll keep an eye on him in the next couple of laps. But we definitely know that Linazukan got one. As Portuguese jumps ahead of Danny Dine now, making his way up to P14. As Linazukan does jump in. went a little bit wide there, and was that his teammate jumping in as well? His teammate will not get held up, and shouldn't do because of the drive-through, and Seigate didn't have a wing, so he did lose it on the final corner. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So, 20 more. This isn't going to be your final order, as Portuguese is now up to P11, capitalising on those pit stops and just making the overtake on Devil Rejected on the older, slower tyres. Now up to P11. And Jack's jumping now ahead of Seigate, up to P15. On those fresh tyres too, looking to make his way up the grid. So, who are we going to see? Can Noodles? No, it's Adamako behind Noodles. So, can Adamako make the overtake on Noodles? He's right up behind him off his gearbox. This should be an easy enough overtake. Right on that slipstream. Noodles is going to try and defend, but he's got no ERS, and Adamako's got the DRS on the inside. Noodles going wide, went a little bit too wide, but great respectful driving from him, as Adamako does make the overtake on Kizagiza as well, who had a bit of a traction loss on turn 15. The two behind will have DRS to try and get back at Adamako, but Adamako does have the corner. Kizagiza sniffing, trying to look on the inside, but is not close enough to make the overtake. And Adamako taking two positions on the one corner, is now up to P7. So great fight back from him after his drive-through. Who have we got close now? So it's only this train here which is close now. Ahmed D 6.3 seconds ahead of Katamise, as Jax actually makes the overtake on Linazuka. Linazuka's now in the pits to switch tyres. Had to serve his drive-through obviously on the last one, but has jumped in now. So I think a lot of the drivers are happy to be here, seeing the sunshine out. Like I said, the last couple of races have been quite wet showings, especially Miami last week was just a wet throughout the whole race. But China's well known for rain. The circuit was built on an industrial complex just outside of Shanghai, and it's often affected by the pollution from the factories around, and because of that pollution, Noodles making the overtake just on the inside, gets just caught on as Barcelona's in the pit now. It might be a drive-through as I predicted, and it is. Yeah, to get an Italian hand gesture, and that gets Big Racky up to P4, and Barca's coming out currently P10. He's dropped down 6 places, but that's what you get for being naughty. But the McLaren team with a great showing, currently P3 and P4. All the pollution. The pollution causes the weather to be variable, and means the track is often affected by rain. So, surprised not to see it, but like I say, the drivers will be happy. I will be let off this week, and I will not be murdered. I don't want to jinx anyone, but currently we do not have any track limit penalties. It is a quite easy one to get, as we do have a 3-car train for P7 with Kizagiza, Noodles and Frosty. Will we see any overtakes going down to turn 14, as AJ is actually caught up to Katamise in P2. AJ will have the advantage in the second stint of jumping onto the mediums, and it is almost the pit stop time, as no one is close enough yet to make that overtake. And as we are, as Seigate gets the penalty. I'll tell you what, this ain't scripted. I'm telling you what, I haven't got it written down on a piece of paper. It's just unfortunate, as is that Noodles, the first one jumping into the pits, as he's going to jump onto the medians. Don't speed, thank you very much. And he's going to try and do the undercut on the drivers around him. jump onto those mediums. And we'll see what pace he sets. Will we see anyone try and do the mediums to softs or hard to softs? The mediums to softs is possible, and if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Katamise, as Nuddles, I think, comes out just ahead of Jax in P13. So yeah, looking to try and do the undercut like the pit lane is only 17 seconds, so it's not as much of a hamper when going in. But we'll see what's lap times he's set in. Katamise is now 8 seconds behind Amadi. Amadi just flying, but he's got AJ within DRS behind him. AJ is going to be wanting to look to improve on last week's finish of P3 up to P2. And it is basically a battle for P2. Is anyone going to do the first one to pit? No, they're going to go around for another lap. Is AJ close enough to do the overtake down to turn 1? Katamise is a wily old fox as Portuguese jumps ahead of Barca down to turn 14. There's a great overtake. Nice and easy overtake. And gets himself up to P9. As Josh Adamako is in the pits. And Kiza Giza in the pits. They're both looking to do an undercut on the drivers in front. Adamako jumping onto fresh mediums. Of course, has already had to pit with his drive-through, and Kiza Giza doing the same, looking to jump up those places. Rejected jumping in as well. As they're going to come out, can they come out ahead of Nuddles? Will Nuddles on the outside of Kiza Giza, so the undercut worked for him. He's just got ahead of Kiza Giza, and it worked. Kiza Giza trying to respond, but they couldn't do it. And his dad knocked down a place behind Nuddles. So great racing there from Nuddles, and but can he keep in front of Kiza? He will have DRS, obviously. As Adamako jumps ahead of Danny Dine. I don't think Danny would have fought too hard with that. Great respectful driver, great consistent driver. Just gets himself around the track, and he guaranteed he's going to finish. He's a very consistent driver, and I love racing with him. And he's such a nice bloke too. As we now have down the straight, Portuguese, Frosty and Barca. Barca's just looking inside, but knows better of it. With the setups here, it's the track isn't that brake heavy, so it is quite easy to brake on such a hard. Oh, and he goes a bit wide there, Frosty. That won't have helped his time. He'd have lost a couple of tenths. Jumping in the pits to try and do the undercut on Portuguese. Kiza Giza gets a track limit penalty, and that won't help with his fight with Nuddles. And Frosty's jumping in his battle with Nuddles and Kiza Giza, and will potentially drop behind those pair. We've seen that the undercut has been powerful for them, and he is, as those two drivers go past. And actually drops behind Jax as well, his teammate. Can they work together to get further up the field? But he's out on fresh mediums. J2 Frosty, as Danny Dine is actually in the pits and comes out on his mediums. Comes out in P15 ahead of Linazukan. And that'll do him to the rest of the race. 12 laps to go. Amadi still yet to pit. Yeah, hopefully, but it was an entertaining crash. It was an entertaining crash. Yeah, hopefully you can get a few more laps. We want you to finish. We want you to get some points on the board. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Stay with us. Who do you reckon's going to win? Let me know. I'm trying to do some jokes, and it just seemed hilarious at the time. So we've got a pit stop here with Katamise and AJ, and as I predicted, Katamise is on the softs. He does like to push, and he's only got 11 laps to do. He's got AJ right up behind him on the medium, so it's down to that tyre wear on the softs of how much AJ can stay ahead. Obviously, all the cars in front have to stop ahead as Portuguese Beast is in the pits now. And just coming out and has been undercut by Noodles, by Kizagiza, and as Frosty and Jack's coming round. Can they just get ahead of Portuguese? They're looking on the outside, but I think Portuguese is just nipped ahead. Blocks off that corner onto turn 2. But does come behind Kizagiza and Noodles for that P8 position. He will be on fresher tyres, but only by a couple of laps, so he's got a bit of work to do. And now I think it's a 5-car train for P8 with the 2 Alpine drivers. As Linzukin overtakes his teammate Cygate, as Cygate lost it, as let his teammate pass, I think, or looking a little bit slow going around the corner. I think he's let Linzukin pass. As Catanese overtaking Barca on the old Haas. Barca potentially going to come in as Amadou Shake Pineapple do their tree, comes in the pits and does jump on the softs. Yeah, I'm hoping a safety car, but it's a bit late now. I think everyone's jumping into the pits and making their pit stops. Now I think if a safety car come out maybe a couple of laps ago, then jumping onto Big Racky. Is he going to go into softs as well? It'll be interesting to see. He comes into medium, so he doesn't think the softs are going to make it. Amadi thinks the softs will make it. Dan Morris is in as well on fresh mediums. As Adam Mako's now up to P4. And look at the position he's in from where as Barcelona is down, dropping down. And what's happened here, I think that's Cygate. He's having a little bit of a spin. He's on a merry-go-round. He's on the horse. It's a Red Bull, not a horse. You can't ride that pony on that carousel. But he's had a bit of a spin. Keep going. P16 still some good points for your team. Keep going round. You've got more points than Bellamy this week, that's all I can say. As we see an overtake from Barca on Jax. Don't see many overtakes there on... it is a great overtaking place on turn 6, but we haven't seen many this race as Jax is looking to take the place back. Following round, coming round at the end of Sector 2. He's going to stick with him, and everyone is now within DRS. With all the strategy in play, it's a race to the end. We've got 10 laps to go. And I can't call it at the moment. It's going to be to and fro right to the end. As Kizagiza, is he going to look at trying to do an overtake on Noodles? And Portuguese is trying to do an overtake as well. He's right up behind. Yeah, I agree. Tyreware's going to be taking players. We've always got 3 wide. Is anyone going to... It's a little bit of a wiggle there from Kizagiza. I don't know if he's just trying to stop in time or that he's had a bit of an issue with Dan Morris. But Portuguese has made the overtake on Noodles up to P6. Had better traction off turn 15. And Frosty gets a penalty. No, it's not going to help you in the final standings. You're quite close to other drivers. And Portuguese is right up behind Big Racky as well. I want Big Racky to finish high as possible, the same as Chat. But I think he's susceptible to the overtake. Portuguese is going to be flying. As they're rejected, makes the overtake on Jax. What's happened to Jax? He's actually gone into the pits. He's coming out of the pits. He's gone onto some fresh medium, so potentially looking to do a fastest lap here. I'm going to turn Irish. He's going to do a fastest lap here. Northern Irish. I'm going to say that's Northern Irish. I don't want to offend any Irish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're in London, aren't we? We're in China, aren't we? So 9 laps to go. Amadi, 9.5 seconds, flying on those soft tyres. Katami's in P2 on the softs, managed to pull a little bit of a gap between him and AJ, but will Tyrewear take players? Amadi does set the fastest lap on a 32.1. We've got then Adam Mako just under 8 seconds behind in P4 as Portuguese does make the overtake on Big Racky. Going down to turn 14. Noodles and Dan Morris battling. Dan Morris, does he have better traction going to the corner? And have we lost Big Racky? He's had a bit of a traction loss on turn 15. Has dropped a few places. And such a shame for Big Racky. He was doing so well. And he'll be kicking himself. As Barca makes overtake 2, he'll have DRS to try and take the place back on turn 1. Barca's looking on the outside as Noodles. What's happened to Noodles? Noodles has lost it on turn 1 as well. Did he have a bit of contact, or did he lose some traction? I think there was some battling for positions, but we'll have to find out at the end of the race from him. He's down to P11, but he's battling hard with a good group of them. Which has got Dan Morris now up to P6 in the Williams. Josh in P7, who's got Giza, Barca, Big Racky all behind him. Barca and Big Racky will be licking the lips with those penalties ahead, which will jump them off a couple of places. But we'll want those track positions as well. As what's happened there? As Giza's gone round. Did he have some traction loss there? Is tyre wear having a bit of play? As Noodles is going to make the overtake. Is he close enough? As I think he's let him past. Doesn't want to fight it too hard. He knows that DRS will happen on the next straight. Everyone's just losing it. I can't keep up with it. You're up and down like horse draws. Hope you're getting paid well. Seven laps to go. As Barca overtakes Big Racky. They bump wheels. But I think Barca has made the overtake as Giza takes the position back from Noodles on turn 14. Noodles, of course, will have the DRS on. Oh, he's jumped in the pits. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like it. Surely he's not gonna. Don't speed. Don't speed. Oh, he hasn't said. Only P11, so I don't think he's got. Has he got damage? Or is he looking to jump on some fresh tyres? Onto some softs? He hasn't got damage, no. He's going to look at setting the fastest lap time then. So coming out in P14, try and work his way up a few positions. But yeah, I'll have a chat with everybody afterwards to find out what happened. So as Linzuka jumping on some softs as well, looking to try and claw back some points from Armadi. Championship leader, constructors leader as well with Danny Dine. As I think who was that made an overtake? I can't see anyone. It must have been Danny Dine on Jax. He's got himself up to P12. Great overtake from him. And AJ has actually been overtaken by Katamis has actually been overtaken by AJ, who's now up to P2. How bad is that tyre wear on, or is AJ just caught up on pace and just capitalised on the DRS, which I presume so. So Katamis has got to stay with him. It was going to be a to and fro, I think, between these two until the final lap. And they're both going to want to get the best finishing positions of the season so far. As Jax jumps up to P12, we've got a yellow flag. Who was that? I think it was Cygate. It was Cygate. He's lost control, I think, coming around turns 5 or 6. So we'll stick back with the front 2 and 3 here. Coming around the end of sector 2. It's a tricky one on coming out of turn 13. You don't want to press the throttle too hard, too early, otherwise you're going to lose it on the banked corner. Katamis is still within DRS, but I don't think he's close enough to make the overtake. Give us a better view than this, Codemasters. Come on, man. Come on, man. Italian hand gesture for Codemasters. He's got a second bite of the cherry down the start-finish straight, so it's not all over yet. As I think that's Cygate again. Losing it on turn 12. His tyres are absolutely screaming. He's screaming as much as like when you get pinched on your underarm. Have you ever had that? As Barca makes the overtake on Josh. Down to turn 14. Capitalising on the DRS. And Josh will try and fight back going on down to turn 1. Can he stick with him? It's a great showing by the Alpine driver. He goes up wide. He'll get a track limits warning for that, surely. He's already got a penalty. It'll be racking up. It'll be racking. It's not snooker. Start racking up. as he's not close enough to make that overtake down the snails. Here's the double snail shell corner. One of a kind. The thing with that turn one and what makes it so exciting, why I absolutely love this track, is that it's such a tortuous first turn, because especially at the start of the race, is that all the cars are bunched up and the slightest distraction is who's that that's gone off. It looks like an AlphaTauri. I think that was Noodles. He's gone wide there as well. Where's he gone off? He hasn't stopped, has he? Don't stop and cause a safety car. He hasn't. He's just letting some cars past. Lost some traction. Unlucky Noodles. We know what pace you've got. Just keep going, mate. You'll still get some points on the board. As coming down, starting lap 24 for these two down to turn one. Can Camis make the overtake? I think he's got better ERS here. So he's got that in his favour, and he's got the better tyres, I think, in the long run. But it's still a fight for P2, and it's going to go right to the wire. As Jax makes the overtake on Devil Rejected. This is a standard overtake now. Overtake, rinse, repeat. Overtake, rinse, repeat. Get it on a t-shirt. Devil Rejected, try and fight back on it. Coming down to turn one, but I don't think he's close enough. You've got to get good traction off that turn 16. Going there with as much speed as possible to be able to fight back, but he just isn't close enough. And Jax makes a great overtake up to P11. Big Racky's right up behind Kisa now, struggling to make that overtake. And that group of four has now split, with Kisa now 12.5 seconds behind the cars ahead. I think the spin didn't help him at all, but he has got a good battle, and it's these two again. I can clip if I was young enough to be bothered to clip, as I think that was an AlphaTauri again. It's be bothered to clip. Is these two are always together, like Siamese twins, stuck at the hip. Ooh, I don't want to be the ones that has their loses their virginity on the prom night, being a Siamese twin. It's going to be an awkward scenario there. As I think Big Racky's going to try and do the overtake here. He's close enough. He's got DRS open. Big Racky doesn't have ERS, but he does have the speed to go on the inside. He's going to give him plenty of space in the outside, which he does. Great racing from those two. Kisa, great overtake, trying to take the overtake on the inside, but pulls out of it. Great racing from those two. And great experience as well, as Big Racky's now to P9. Great racing. But yeah, these two are just always together. They must just absolutely hate they must be sick of the sight of each other. They're like a married couple after 25 years. Together for the kids. They're just sick of the sight of each other. That's Nudders again. He's gone wide again, is he? Letting the cars past, staying out of the way. Doesn't want to impose on any of the racing as he's gone into the pits now. I hope he doesn't retire. Just maybe jumping on some softer tyres, maybe. I hope he doesn't retire. He has retired. Couple of laps left to go. His tyres just screaming. As we've got 2 laps, two and this one as well to go. Amadi, 14.5 seconds, just dominant display. I don't think he's had some of his competitors had some mistakes like Portuguese and Adamaco, and he's just been consistent. Had no real competition, and the race is going to need him to extend his lead to for that championship win. We've got AJ and Katami still tight. Tighter than a nun's vagina. Katamis is still sticking with him. Is he biding his time, or is he just hasn't got enough to make that overtake? We'll see on the next DRS section. He's half a second behind, which is close enough to make the overtake, but who's got better traction off the corner? Oh, bit of a loss of traction for Katamis. He's trying to go too early and has lost him a couple of tenths, and he's not close enough to make that overtake. Slipstream in DRS is not enough to make the overtake right now. You can see how powerful it is, but it's just not enough. And it just shows you need that great a great launch off the exit. Half a second now, but it's still not close enough off turn 16 either. You've got to go through there with speed. He's not close enough to make the overtake, and he's just got to go again next. He's got 2 laps to go, 2 more laps to attempt it. As Dan makes the overtake, and as Barsa makes the overtake on Dan, up to P6. Yeah, unfortunately those races happen though. As Linazukan's retired as well as he had a spin, or is that in the pits? I think it's in the pits. It's unfortunate he's not having a good race either, Linazukan, unfortunately. It's good to have him joining with us. Yeah, Noodles, hope to see you next week again. And yeah, if you have any steward reports that you want to send through to the admin, just do that. But unfortunately, those races happen. So yeah, Barca up to P6, getting past Dan Morris. Got 2 laps to go. 2 DRS zones attempts, I think, to get yourself a position. As I getting out to P14 with all the retirees. No, yeah, thank you for joining us, Nuddles. Yeah, good chatting with you as well. Hope you stay in the stream to the end of the race and see who actually wins it. We all know who probably will do, but it's a great battle for P2. It's a great battle, I think, that will be here for P6 as well. I think that's the battles that we're going to have now with whereas we're on the final lap as Ahmadi has crossed the start-finish line for his final lap. And it will be a battle here as Katamis has been dropped by AJ. AJ's just gone. He's just gone. He's using his DRS, pulled out of the DRS zone. So I said there's going to be a battle there, and I was lying. AJ is consolidated, and unless he makes a mistake, what strategy from him? I think a combination of Katamis using his ERS and probably his tyres wearing a bit, but it's a good idea. But it'd be a great finish for him as well. It'd be absolutely chuffed with his podium, and for his team for getting P in 3 and 4. But we'll jump back on with Ahmadi then, as he's coming round the final sector. Just going around turns 12, turn 13. I think the only thing we're going to have to see now is, unless anyone makes a mistake, is if Dan Morris can jump ahead of Barca, but he looks like he's too far away currently. I think Barca's putting his foot down as well. Dan has pulled out of DRS, so unless somebody makes a mistake, which if they do on the last lap, you're going to get a big, massive slap as Ahmadi comes round final corner. Are we going to have a celebration going over the line? And we do. A little bit of a celebratory weave, and congratulations, Ahmadi. Dominant performance for race 4. As AJ ups his performance from last week, getting a P2. Congratulations to him in the McLaren. Katamis, round of applause, getting P3, first podium of the season. And the Mercedes team, Adamaco fighting back from his drive-through to get P4. Portuguese Beast battling back for P5 from his mistake. And then Barcelona having his drive-through as well, getting up to P6. Just getting past Dan Morris in the last few laps, who gets P7. P8 for the Alpine of Frosty on his first performance with us, getting a fantastic P8. Big Raki, what could have been for him after he had one or two little mistakes? I reckon he could have got near P4. Coming home in a valiant P9. Keys Giza rounding off the top 10. I don't think Jax is close enough to get within that penalty. As getting that P11. Devil rejected, coming home in a great P12 for him. and Danny Dine coming home in P13. So congratulations, Amity, winning the race. Who's game given driver of the day? It's J2 Frosty for his first performance with us. I'd give a congratulations to him, but I'm also going to give it to Katamis for getting his first podium of the season, and he will be my driver of the day. As they're on the podium, and raises it in the air, and they're going to get the bottles out, and it's not the bottles for. It's not the bottle of champagne. We're in China. It's Baijiu. What's Baijiu, I hear you say? But it's reserved for royalty. It's a white liquor. You get it in your eyes, you're blind. You're absolutely blind. So keep it out your face. Clink those bottles, though. Clink those bottles as we'll go through the standings. So, Amity coming home in P1. Also getting the fastest lap with a 32.1. And also pole position, so it's clean sweep for him in China. AJ getting in P2. Fantastic from him. And Katami's getting P3. My driver of the day. Adamako P4. Portuguese P5. And Barca getting a great performance P6. I think that's his best of the season so far. I might be wrong. He'll have to correct me. Damaris P7. Frosty in P8. Big Rack in P9. And Kizagis round off the top 10. Mr. Consistent. Jack Daniels P11. Dev Rejected P12. Danny Dine P13. At Sygate P14. Who was last of the finishers. Linazuka, Noodles, Zach, Andy and Noodles all retiring. Fantastic race from and performance from the drivers this week, and it's great to see so many people on the grid, as I say. Please join us next week for our race in Monza, race 5. 2 races to go of season 24 at Lights Out League Racing. Thank you for joining us. I've been Alex. It's been a pleasure. Peace out.